Are we really gonna hold off a whole week to talk about the Steffi Cohen incident? Let's just
Yeah,
intro
what
this
is
with
that?
the Steffi Cohen incident, and then Harvey can shoot
Okay,
his first question to
you
Jacob.
have approximately 5 minutes to discuss Steffi Cohen.
Thank you very much, because this is important to get out to the people. So Steffi Cohen today got arrested. She's been charged with hacking into her ex's laptop, stealing new or explicit images of his current partner and distributing them in group chats online. Apparently she got arrested and she leg swept a cop, and then she got put into the paddy wagon, and then she like broke the door lock with her toes or something. And like there was a whole kerfuffle.
What the hell?
She got posted on mug shorties, but then it's been deleted. There's been a lot of allegations thrown around behind the scenes, so don't really want to delve into making any more assumptions. But yeah, crazy situation. It just fucking insane. Like, has some wild shit.
The SNC community was quick to make memes as well. All your favorite meme pages.
Yeah. It's just
Through
that's the thing. I don't even know what much more there is else to say about it, but it'll be interesting to follow up on that. Wonder how her current BF feels about it. Tristan Ham, who knocked out Harvey, her current boyfriend, knocked out the Logan Paul lookalike.
Oh yeah, that's that guy. Right,
did we react to that? Yeah, we
did react. Yeah, we did.
Just to link it to your world, Harvey.
Yeah,
so she's a powerlifting fucking legend,
right?
Like, so and sort of she was like had like sort of a tomboy aesthetic initially, but she was like beloved by the powerlifting community as like an elite powerlifter, like setting world records, but also like had a bunch of fanboys and stuff like that who just swooned all over her. But then she kind of talked about like, and she had a huge brand, and it's actually interesting. Like, you know, I have a brand that's all about like training variously, and they were kind of like one of the OG brands that was like about sort of, you know, training variously as far as like CrossFit and multiple strengths sports are concerned, not necessarily in the same way as GPP, but they were onto that pretty early. They had a huge company because like, so the guy whose laptop she hacked into when they were together, he was sort of the coach. Obviously Steffi's a coach as well. She's a doctor of physical therapy in her own right. But then she was like, oh, I reckon if I start like sexualizing myself a little bit, I'll be able to like blow up the brand a heap more. And she was kind of right. She went from like, I reckon 200K to 1 million followers. But then the marriage broke down and it was obviously hectic. Yeah. And she hacked his laptop. It's crazy. Yeah, just fucking.
A bit of revenge or some shit.
I don't know. I think whatever was going on there, I reckon you can attribute a lot of it to hormones.
Yeah, just make that.
Anyway, so yeah, Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask first?
So this might seem weird to the listeners. I don't know, but basically, it just kind of hit me a while ago that like Jacob just kind of appeared on the show. It felt like to me, and that's great. We're very happy to have him, but I just feel like there might be a lot of people like subconsciously a little bit like, who the fuck is this guy and where does he come from and what's his deal? So yeah, I just figured we'd ask him some questions and have a bit of a chat and make it a bit more Jacob focused this episode. It might be shit. Maybe his answers will be dreadful, but we'll just take it from there. You know, at this stage, I've got no reason to believe they will be dreadful, so we'll just see what happens. But yeah, so basically, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, what is it that? What do you tell people you do?
That's a great question, actually. So I tell people I'm a PT. I'm not ashamed. Like other S&C wannabes, and you know, I'm a personal trainer. I tell people to lift weights. But yeah, and I say I do a bit of online stuff as well. I say stuff because you know, it's hard to fully explain the nuances of it all. But yeah, I'd say. Online coach and personal trainer. That's what I usually tell people. But yeah,
content creator
and content. Yeah, that's another one I need to add into the mix. Content creator, because I do create a lot of content.
Oh, but, totally. And so like, how did because you studied sports science, right?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Is this not specifically like, you know, being part of GPP and whatever else, but like, is this thing that you tell people you do, is that what you envisioned happening when you were studying sports science?
No. Quite the opposite. I'm very low key guy, no social media. So, taking this turn, I actually felt like it was pretty good because, need to get out of my shell a bit. So this was pretty good. But no, it was definitely. I was wanting to have the tracksuit pants and the tracksuit top, and get paid minimum and get flown out everywhere and tell players to lift weights, get them after everyone else has dealt with them. That was my dream. But slowly through content that I'm now a part of, I saw that wasn't a great gig. For some it is, respect to those who want to stick thick by it, but yeah, not for me at all. So yeah, got red pill.
Hectic. So how did you find like Angus's content? Like is someone who's gone from being like outside of the, I don't know, like outside of the world to in it, like were you, like how did you come across it? And like
I think I only learned this somewhat recently.
Right.
Oh really?
Yeah, how did you, was it
I
purely
knew
just an
vaguely
algorithm
when
situation?
you came into my sort of web.
Yeah.
But I don't think I knew specifically until about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I was really obsessed with Alex Natera because everyone said that he was like the guy, which he is really good, puts out really good stuff. And then I actually don't know how I got come across. I think I actually accidentally had the podcast on autoplay on a drive, and then I heard an Aussie accent. I was like, "Oh fuck, this is crazy." And then pretty casual convo going. So I was like, "Okay, this is not too serious." Like,
Wait, it's
what is
just
this guy all
sports,
about?
right?
Yeah, Just Fly Sports. I was like, "What's this guy on about?" And then started speaking some mad fire on the mic, and I was like, "Okay, I can kind of get behind this." Chucked a follow, and then there we were. I actually have a funny story.
Get it. This is your episode, baby. You tell this shit.
I don't know if you remember this, Angus, but Angus actually no-showed to the first console goal.
No, I don't remember that.
No, you did. Yeah, you did. And I was totally cool about it because I had shit on too. And I was like, oh, okay. It was like, sorry, man, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, sick. I was just like staring at the screen. And then the next day, I think you're on a trip. You're on a trip somewhere. I think you're on holiday.
Yeah, that was what I was on a surf trip, and I didn't have good internet.
Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, tell me what you want to lift, man. And you just crack open. I remember this stuff clearly. You crack open like biscuits, and you're just like, yeah, okay. What do you want to deadlift? All right, yeah, sick. What are your goals? I was like, oh, okay, this is sick. Because like I was full on like, I was like, fuck, this is gonna be like pretty serious. Like I see all these like really like cool words, and it was like pretty casual. I was like, oh, this is not as deep as I thought. And then I sent him some movement. Actually, you know what? Oh, this would have been great to prepare. I sent him a movement screen. I sent you a movement
toe
screen.
touch and stuff.
Yeah, I sent you a standing overhead squat. I still have it in my favorites. Standing overhead squat, and then a walking lunge, and then a toe touch. Yeah, and then you sent that over, and then I sent that over. But yeah, that's how it all got started.
Special.
Yeah, was it? Oh.
Yeah. So, just for me, did you say was Gus like, was that like the mentorship, or was that you just getting like
coaching?
Right.
No, and so because this time was in between the first and second lockdown in Oz, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was around 20.
And just for everyone listening, it wasn't an FMS overhead squat. Like what I'm looking for in that overhead squat is just global flexion capacity.
Yeah.
It's not like a fucking feet straight FMS where it's like, can this person just like flex the upper and lower limb simultaneously?
Yeah.
Which is useful. Well, I don't do it anymore, but I thought it was useful at the time. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So, and then it was just training, I guess. Training at home, doing a bunch of searches.
How long did I train you for before we were in shutdown? I swear it was like 4 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure on that trip is when the shutdown got announced.
Yeah, funnily enough, yeah. So luckily my parents bought me some gym stuff because I started to catch the gym bug, sort of like gym as in like addiction, just as lockdown was starting. So yeah, got dumbbells, got a barbell with 60 kilos, and that was pretty much enough. So what we were doing a lot of front foot elevated zerches on the pillows, a lot of zerches, did some deads. Did what we
It
could
was
do.
just the
Did what we could
shittest
do.
start. It was the shittest start to
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
training. Like hiring a coach to be like, oh, here's what I got in my backyard. But yeah, Jacob was like really enthusiastic about it. It's like he brought a lot of enthusiasm to the table. It was fucking
Yeah. And that was
I
and that
like,
was
I can't
sick.
believe this guy hasn't cancer.
Yeah,
honestly.
fuck. Yeah.
More, like I said, more just because of the access to equipment. I was like, man, like I want to have him like in the gym, like fucking loading up on the barbells properly, like fucking have space to move. And you made some good gains though.
Yeah.
It was lucky that you were new to training, so you could actually make good gains, which helped a lot.
Yeah. No, I definitely got strong for sure. Because I wasn't lifted much to be honest. But yeah, and then after that, I think I saw your mentorship go up online. And I was like pretty apprehensive to sort of ask because I was like, fuck, I'm a fucking idiot. There's no way I'm going to get anything out of this. And you're like, no, yeah, get on, man. Like this, it's all good, man. I got you a spot. I'm like, oh, sick. Like I thought it was like, it is a big deal, but I thought I was like, fuck, this is sick. So, yeah. And then I remember the first sort of call. This is just me rattling off everything I remember. So sorry if it's a bit unstructured, but first call I remember was good. It was good. And then you told me to come up with like exercises, and then I did the shittest like internally. I mean, in theory, it kind of I could have seen where I was going, but I paired everything with internal rotation. So I did like a knees like in like that, RDL. And I'm like, and you were like, yeah, no, that's kind of missing the mark there. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. But I remember that was one of the assessments you got us to do, is like make your own exercise with the principles that you provided, which was sort of eye-opening. And yeah, and then I remember I was getting the lads during lockdown, the sort of makeshift setup I made, everyone 90-90 breathing. That was fun. But I was like really fascinated and explaining everything to them. But yeah, that was
a fun cohort of the mentorship. Who else was in your one?
Tom Clark.
Yeah, that was sick.
Camille. Oh, Tyler Frost as well.
Wow, because Camille would have been in heaps of the Q&As. I know.
Yeah, and it was pitch black. Yeah, because he was on the other side of the world. But yeah, I feel like I'm missing other people, but yeah,
but you would have been. The intakes were pretty intimate back then. Well, they still are now, really.
No, that was good. Yeah, so went through all that, and then after that, coaching still sort of kept going. Hit some pretty good lifts in the gym, and then I remember I was at Woolies, listening to podcasts, keep on upskilling, and then I got the message about the GPP stuff. I was like, damn, I'm keen. And I definitely remember that. I was actually
that was in
Woolies.
Mid-June
2022. Yeah.
So after lockdown, it was the month before I headed to Europe for the first time.
Can
I textualize the text, or do you want to keep going for a little bit? Have you got momentum?
No, you go.
Okay, so Jamie Smith has been like one of my biggest mentor. It depends if you count my brother or not. I feel like that's a bit OP, so you got to take him out of the picture. But outside of my brother, Jamie Smith's been my biggest mentor. And we're just driving to dinner on one of the Melbourne trips. I think it was after I'd been hanging out with Jacob at the gym as well. And actually, yeah, I've had two pivotal conversations with Jamie when it comes to interactions with Jacob or like things with Jacob. But he was talking about like, you've got so many things going on. Why aren't you delegating anything? Like, why aren't you taking anyone on to help you with things? And I was just sort of talking about like, I just couldn't imagine finding the right fit. Because I was just like I look at Melbourne strength culture, I'm like, that's the gold standard. Like they've all been there relatively since day one, or everyone who's been there since day one, they've only added people to it. They've all got great personalities. They all just fucking get it. And I was like, how can people how can I expect someone get it? How can I expect someone to give a fuck? Because like, I can't just pay them a wage. Like they're only going to give a fuck if I like incentivize them with equity. But then like, how can I trust someone that much? And it was like, you'll find someone through the mentorship. And this was actually, no. Yeah, I don't know if I'd hung out with you in Melbourne this time, because it was either early in your mentorship cohort or even before your mentorship cohort kicked off. But that planted a seed in my brain that at some point someone would come through the mentorship and I'd identify them as like the person I would ask to come and help me with things, with whatever I decided to do. Ended up being GPP. And I think it was about like week 6. There's a question, it's about hip shifts that Jamie Smith and a few people have asked, a few certain people who are apparently really into biomechanics seminars, like whether hip shifts like ER or IR, because there's a bit going on and you just have to be. Why I like the question is because there's a couple of different completely valid answers, and as long as you're very specific about what you're describing, you can be correct saying IR or ER. And I can't even remember what Jacob answered, but he's one of 2 people to answer this question. Everyone else has always sort of just been stumped by it or just sat there silent. But Jacob didn't even hesitate. He just went straight into his answer. And like I said, I can't remember if he said if the hip shift was IR or ER, but he was just specific about like what was happening at each part of the body. Is like, well, the shin's traveling backwards and the foot's supinating here. So it's like that's feeding ER up through the chain. So it's like, it can't be that much IR going on. Or like I said, because I'm obviously, the frontal plane, like course, like people are trying to IR and like stay pronate and stuff like that. But again, what you commonly see is like people shift back into like, I guess, early propulsion. Anyway, I was just like, Jacob's like, he's pretty smart. And I didn't hire him with content creation in mind at all in the beginning. The whole idea is that GPP is like my program and it's like a train along that everyone can participate in. But I just wanted someone to oversee the program, just because, it's bad to coach yourself sort of thing. But then, so how long did that go on for before I asked you to make content for GPP, or was it fairly early?
I think it was fairly early, yeah.
Because I remember you really starting to help me with content creation when I was partying a lot in the US. You were just feeding me that's when I felt like you really started to embrace the role. Like, whereas initially I felt like I really had to prod you a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty funny as a boss. I just tell people to do things that they've never done before and expect them to get good at it.
I mean, there's only other way.
I believed in him. Yeah. And I mean, like, my God, like, I'll take a bit of credit for like giving him some solid tips and things like that. But Jacob, like, and I could explain this later. Like, this was like saying, I hope I said to Jacob, like, after a year, I didn't give him a compliment for his entire first year of employment because I just like such a shit. I don't like it when people tell me I'm doing a good job if I don't think I'm doing a good job. Like, I'd like to say that I think I'm doing well. Anyway, that I have so much, and I've obviously like therapy helped me with this sort of shit. And talking to Jamie Smith, Jamie's like, have you talked to Jacob about like what his goals are? Because I always talk to Jamie Smith about like, all right, so this is my vision for Jacob in a year's time. He's like, you need to just ask Jacob what Jacob's, because I'm also talking to Jamie. I'm like, I need to keep Jacob in the brand forever. How do I do that? He's like, have you asked him what he fucking wants? I was like, oh. And he was like, have you told him he's doing a good job? I was like, no. And this is like after Jacob made memes that got like 1 million views and stuff like that. Because I thought it was just sort of obvious that he was doing a good job and he was getting validation like I do through the likes, and it sort of went without saying. Obviously, it just makes me seem like a complete piece of shit. I'm a bit more self-aware now. But the point what I was actually trying to get to there is like, people graduate university with like marketing degrees and things like that, and they go work for marketing agencies or like social media fucking agencies or whatever the fuck these jobs are these days. I don't understand the model. If one of their interns or like a graduate level like got the amount of impressions with organic content, like no fucking ad spend behind it. Like he was I'm not a good person at converting, right? Like my funnel is just so fucking big. And Jacob has done the same thing with GPP. Like the ad spend to get the same reach that we would have to pump into content is like 20 grand a month to get the amount of reach that Jacob gets. I'm not.
Oh shit! I had no idea about this.
We don't, but like in terms of like, that's why I can't afford to spend 20 grand a month on ads, because like I wouldn't be able to like move enough product or anything like that. But in terms of like, I've done experimentation. There was a couple of months. There was like this 3-month stretch where I spent like up to $100 a month on some ads on IG and Facebook. And yeah, just based off the amount of impressions that got me, because I know my ads went well for the amount of money I spent on them. I ran the mental numbers when Jacob had a few memes go off. I was like, oh my God. And obviously they're seeing a meme. They're not seeing like a direct call to action or anything like that, but it's still just like, yeah, like I said, if someone did that, like a graduate level person at some sort of marketing, they'd be like, this person's like insane.
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably still fuck him around, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Crazy.
Who's doing that in their first 6 months of content creation? No.
I know.
No, I guess Logan Paul, fucking.
Maybe. I think it's just, I don't know, maybe this knack for memes. You know what? Adam said a lot of this, a lot of this is a lot of making memes about the boys in the group chat during lockdown. That's where a lot of the training come from. I did a lot of that. There was a lot of time on the phone just making memes about
that makes so much sense.
Yeah. And then just, you know what? The haha reacts in the group chat, it gave me that reward system I needed to keep on making memes about the boys. And now to this day, it's like waiting for the Jacob edit on this in the group chat from high school. So shout out to the boys from high school. But yeah, that's where I'd say the talent. Well, not the talent. Yeah, let's call it talent. The talent of the memes come from. So.
You've literally made like some of the top
content
fitness
creation
memes of 2023 and early 2024.
It's crazy to think about it.
Took out ruthlessly every single person in No Bullshit Physio's meme contest.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my flowers.
Literally shit on them. Shout out, they're all friends of the show, but like in terms of that competition, like it was. God, that was satisfying for me, especially because like I'm friends with Mark Doherty now, but like we had a bit of competitiveness, let's just say, back in the day with some of our fitness opinions. He tried to rip me one time. It was, but like, and just some of there were some big meme pages in there, and this, Jacob just cooked it, bro. Like, and that the last meme was like the whole comment section. People like I reckon there was at least 40 comments. Separately, people like, this is the best meme I've ever seen in my life.
I've ever seen, I know. Do you know what? I don't know if I've told the backstory of that one. I think I have, but we'll repeat it.
I also want to make clear the pressure I explicitly put on Jacob. I was like, you need to win. Like,
makes diamonds. Like, made diamond.
I wouldn't have done anything, but like the expectation, I knew I didn't need to do anything because he was just going to do it, and he did it. But yeah, it still exceeded my expectations with how hard you crushed, especially the last round. God, it was just, no one stood a chance.
Yeah, that last meme, I was actually down and out. I thought it was all over, and then as Tyson Fury on the canvas during that Deontay Wilder fight, just found that 7th gear. I was like, fuck it, let's just just fucking meta everything. Just play to the meta. That's it. Bit of AI, she'll be right, and then boom.
Yeah, and then I think that's always there.
Yeah.
It was just looking at a square block of marble. The meme was inside it.
Yeah, it's a lot of blank staring. I think that night as well. I had to bring that up, but yeah, that's the origin story. I think overall to sum up, and here we are on the potty.
That's actually really interesting because like one of the things I had down here was like I was gonna ask you if like. And you've obviously just told us, but like I was trying to think about it, like trying to imagine what it must be like seeing Gus's content for the first time as someone who's like in the industry or whatever and like doesn't know him like outside of that. And like I was actually really thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder if Gus is one of these people who like really kind of like rubs you the wrong way initially, like, and he like grows on you. You know what I mean? Like initially you're like, oh, fuck this, like just purely out of the kind of nature of how it comes across. And then you kind of gradually see it more. And then you like, I don't know, like once you scratch past the surface a little bit, you see that there's more like fucking point behind it than just shitting on people for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, but that's actually really interesting that straight away you just heard him on a podcast and you were like, no, okay, that's cool. Like I get down with that.
It's the duality. It's like you see the Aussie mullet guy, and then he's talking about crazy shit. And you're like, oh. And then especially as an Aussie guy, you go, oh, what the fuck? This is pretty sick. Like it's a good archetype for someone like me that likes the nitty gritty of things. So I think that was it all. The first post I definitely remember seeing was this one. This one. and then this.
No, yeah, that was pretty big.
the flexion,
at the time,
the flexion at ER,
I
and then the
remember when my
internal
first post
rotation.
got 300 likes. I was like, oh my god, like I never thought.
Yeah. Where were you at in 22 with followers? Were you above or below 10K? You were above, surely.
No, it was like 3 or 4.
Oh, what?
Wait,
Hey,
what year
man,
did you say? Did you say 2021?
2021.
So I finished 2021 with 7K. And then I had 12.5K when I got on the plane to the UK in August.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you know how I remember this? Okay, because I was flying back by San Fran. I met an Aussie who was from Melbourne, got off like in San Fran as well, just waiting for the next plane home. And we were just sort of having a beer. I didn't tell him anything about I just told him I was a personal trainer. And he was talking about how his mate was an influencer. I was like, oh, does he make much money online? He's just like, you can't really make any money online until you got like 15K followers. And I was just like coming back from my first international seminars. Just going fully online with that. So I was like, actually 12.5K.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, fuck. But yeah, fuck. I bought the stocks low there with Angus, man. If Angus was actually on the stock market, man, the return.
So when you started working with Angus, like, did he have like a, like, did you feel like you'd heard of him in the industry or like about the place before, or was it literally just randomly on a podcast and you were like, that guy sounds cool?
Yeah, it was definitely randomly on a podcast. Yeah.
So
Joel Smith kind of blew me up a bit. Like that was huge for me getting on Just Fly Sports. I couldn't believe it because I only had about like 2K followers when I went on Just Fly Sports.
Yeah, right. Hectic.
I've been yapping consistently for over a year at that point, but
yeah, okay. Hectic.
So anyone who thinks it was fucking quick, I don't want to steal the fucking thunder of Jacob on this episode because he's been fired. But like, I remember when I started posting consistently, I had 700 followers, and then I hit 1,000 followers, and I did the math on like how long it would take me to get to 2,000 followers, and I nearly quit content creation that day. Then I just decided like, just Sigma grind set and like just believe in the long tail, and obviously it works out. But yeah, just people who whinge about it being fucking slow, like commit to it for a year.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So now you're like kind of in it, like, I don't know, the scene, the industry, whatever you want to call it, as a bit of a meme lord, if you will. Like, I've seen people give Angus this thing where like I've seen it a few times. I'm sure it happens quite often. I've seen them kind of give you this attitude of like, well, if you're gonna say stuff like that, like even if I agree with you, you need to be fucking massive and jacked, and just like if you're gonna have opinions like that on gym and fitness or whatever, you're gonna have to be like look like fucking Mr. Olympia, basically. Are people giving you that kind of shit yet? Are you prepared for that? Like,
yeah, finally, no one bar one comment about the arms. You said you can't give bicep advice with those biceps, but you know what? It's natural. Like it's cool. It's cool from my end, really. I don't really care. But I'm expecting it, obviously, as I grow. But I feel like being able to do a bunch of shit that's really cool when it comes to physical qualities is like, you don't really need a rig to be like, okay, that's the stamp of approval over all of that. So, yeah, I can just say, hey, man, can you climb like 5 flights of stairs without getting puffed, or jump without getting a bit of knee pain? That's it. That's the clap back.
You don't lean into being taught. Like, Jacob's 6'3", can dunk a basketball. Women like him. Like, the motivation to grow arms, just, it's fucking rough, man. You know, if it's not happening easy.
Yeah.
So why am I doing this? Like, you got to train. You got to hit arms. Yeah, he hits arms.
I hit arms.
Of course, like, because the people, like people when they talk about growing arms, it's the dedication that you're missing, or it's like the eating capacity. It's not the like some people do like the proximity to failure. But like, yeah, fucking anyone can hit a couple of sets of biceps. Like, train them effectively. Like, that's actually quite easy. It's a completely different, almost separate thing, actually growing huge pipes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
main point is Jacob's 6.
Yeah. Can't grow that.
The dunking thing, like, you're an S&C coach, not a fucking bicep coach.
Exactly.
No,
It's all right.
no,
I'll
fully.
deal with it. I'll deal with it. I've dealt with Wes. But yeah.
Oh, totally, totally. And like, yeah, is that like, has the industry in general, like, is it kind of like, has it lived up to what you thought it might be? Like, how are you finding it so far? And is it weird, like, because you work in a gym, right?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how to say this without probably offending someone a little bit, but like, is it weird? Because I'm guessing you haven't worked there that long. So like, is it weird in some ways being a bigger dog than people that have been there for a while? Like in terms of like industry, I don't know, like pool or
No,
whatever.
no, I sort of see them as two worlds. I see them as two
Okay.
worlds, but I like it's really cool to see, people from work being like, oh, it's more, but I'm basically the funnel for Angus at this point, but they sort of compliment me too. But yeah, the question about the industry as well online, are you talking about, Harvey?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
guess so because it's all. Well, I mean, you said it's two different worlds, but it's kind of in the same galaxy, right?
Yeah. So I sort of initially coming in, I thought I thought everyone was like, Paul Fabritz, the PJF performance guy, just training athletes in their backyard. Everyone's happy days.
Oh, was that your first impression of professional S&C?
Yeah.
So just for Harvey and any of our listeners who don't follow Paul Fabritz, he's a legend of the game, especially like basketball S&C, but he's kind of known, like he's been very successful and he has a phenomenal house where he makes a lot of his content. Like he's got a little court. Actually, is it a full-size court? Anyway, he's got a very nice house where he makes a lot of his content out of.
Yeah.
That's such a warped perspective.
I know, it's crazy warped.
Well, then did you listen to Graham Morris on a few podcasts and get a reality check?
Yeah. No, and Christian Woodford was a big one. Just going on absolute rants. That was another one that I listened to, was the Christian Woodford when he came over to your house, was it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That is an all-time podcast. For the listeners at home, if you haven't heard that podcast, that is an all-time podcast, in my opinion. I've listened to that like 4 times, that podcast. That's so good. I in my opinion, anyway.
I don't know if that was the most responsible journalism I've ever done. He literally checked out of rehab and caught public transport to my parents' house. And they're like, who's this man? And I was like, he's a legend of the S&C game. I'm going to interview him in the back room.
And you guys just talked about Gmail, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, so I definitely
that podcast actually led to
its own.
I was just gonna say that podcast actually led to us getting Jamie Smith on the show for the first time because Woodford slandered him so hard on there.
Oh shit!
So that was a pretty pivotal moment in hindsight. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, athletes only have an off season, and that's where you can sort of show up. So, yeah. And then it was Gen Pop from there. So, but the industry as a whole is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I feel like we have like it's awesome to see that we can comment on a lot of things. A lot of things around the industry. The best thing is though, when you see a popular athlete and out of every single media that's on them, you get to see a little bit of S&C, and then boom, everyone just blows that proportion up of that athlete and like comment, critique. And I enjoy that shit. But I love the industry. It's sick. It's sick.
Yeah, you're a fan.
Yeah, right on.
And in the trenches. Yeah.
Yeah. Both. Yeah.
I think most good coaches, like some people, like I know people like Mike Guadango and someone like Grant Fowler, like feel sort of pretty checked out, but like majority, but even though all those people, both of them I know especially, have gone through just like periods of just like actually being a fan of the industry to some extent. Can't put it on pedestal too much, but yeah, there's just some degree of fandom.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I get that like you've not been in it that long or whatever, but have you experienced like much or like, I don't know, like, is there much of like a toxic side to it? Like, has that bothered you much? Like, I mean, I've heard, I don't know if there's probably been a few on the pod as well, but like, I mean, definitely talking to Gus off camera about things. Like, it's been a few things Gus has told me I've been like, Jesus, like that is That is something right there. And like I think it's like a lot of industries, you know, like fuck God, I'm in music, like I can tell you some toxic shit that happens in there. But like, yeah, have you like I don't know, have you like experienced much of that at this stage?
No, not
No
really.
one has hacked his laptop and stolen nudes as of yet.
No, I haven't been Steffi
Or
Cohen.
written him a letter, Christian Woodford style. Sorry, Christian Woodford didn't write someone a letter. It's the funniest story ever. Have you heard about that, Jacob? The Christian Woodford getting a letter in the mail, bro.
Oh no, yeah, he has.
Christian Woodford
I
has so many haters, like who want to stay anonymous. Which I don't know. It's like it's not unpopular to dislike Christian Woodford. I don't know why people feel the need to like be anonymous and hide it. Anyway, someone mailed him a letter to his gym, like old school snail mail, being like, "Your deadlift is shit. You're gonna blow your back out one day."
What?
That's testament to the legend of Woody.
Yeah, that's
like someone
crazy
went out of
stuff.
their way like to hand write that, stick it in a fucking envelope, go buy a stamp,
and went to the post office and posted it to his gym.
Yeah, like that person
Insanity.
probably isn't trying to be funny, but that person doing that's fucking hilarious. That's one of the funniest things gnarly. I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't expect you to do that to Jacob as a joke and it be hysterical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't do it for like a year now.
Yeah. Your arms are fucking small, mate.
Yeah.
At my doorstep.
Your memes are shit. Your arms are small.
Oh, that would have hurt more. That would have hurt more than my arms.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I haven't really. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm at that level yet. I'm looking forward to it though, and see how I interact. But yeah, no, I've had some conflicting beliefs in my comments, which is fine, which is cool. Yeah. That's normal, and I'm happy to.
Jacob as well is sort of more recently. I mean, really, just as of 2024. I mean, and even more so, really, like the last 3 months, Jacob's taken his personal account more seriously. It was sort of just there being piggybacked along initially by the GPP account, but like that's one thing that like a goal we sort of set for Jacob this year was to become much more active on his own account, as well as his responsibility for the GPP content creation and collaboration posts.
Yeah.
And which, like I said, it's off to a great start. Like, I really can't wait to see. Sorry for taking over, but I just want to say some shit. I'm really excited to see where Jacob's at in another year from now, because it's been longer than a year, but like I said, even just the last 12 months has been fucking insane. And like, yeah, like he just needs time to keep doing the things that he's doing. Because like I said, only just started. If you think about when he just started making content for GPP, then he really sort of came up with his own framework for making content, whether it was like educational or memes or top or middle funnel sort of thing. And now, like I said, he's got a little bit of momentum from the GPP piggybacking early on and collaborating with some content there, but then doing his own content. Because in the GPP ecosystem, obviously we have 3 pretty strong Instagram pages now, or 2.5, but then, you know, Jacob's in another year. It's going to be contributing a lot to that total ecosystem and that just overall exposure for the brand. So yeah, it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the numbers game. Sorry, a whole bunch of that is only exciting for me. Actually, no, it is exciting for everyone because get ready to see some fucking awesome content from Jacob. Like, again, the whole thing piggybacks off the fact that his content's actually valuable. It's educational, even when he's just taking the piss. He's trying to teach you something. But then there's a lot of the times where he's explicitly just trying to teach you something and it's good shit. So, because I'm assuming most of our listeners follow you, but there might be some who haven't given you a follow.
Yeah. And I think that sort of just like a live thought process over my content. I think from the past sort of year or so starting till now, when I click that post button, it's less stressful, I definitely feel like. And I feel like that's a really good sign if you're feeling less stressed when you're posting. Also, not caring as much. It's more, let's say not caring as much as what other people think, or like if this is controversial or anything like that, or if it's right, that's for sure. So I feel like that's a good sign that I've sort of picked up on. But I definitely feel in the next year, I need to start sharing a bit more of my life, making sure that I'm seen more as a human, what I'm up to, this and that.
Funny,
so I just look like some, so I definitely feel like I need to just
You're a carousel generator.
I know. I'm like those fucking, So definitely need to do a bit more of that, show a bit more of my day.
The podcast helps.
Yeah, it definitely does. I definitely think it does. But yeah, I think that's another thing that I need to add into my element. And just also sort of being a bit more thoughtful as well with my content. Like I think I'm getting a bit better with writing for sure. And then just, building upon that, you can only get better. You can never be perfect. But yeah, that's what I'd say with my content. But yeah.
And something else that me and Jacob have had a lot of discussions about is as well, just like having the, what's the word I'm looking for? Having the confidence to just write some really like lower level content.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Because like our pages are growing to the point where like if we really want to address this, like there's some problems in the industry, like we need to just make things accessible, like and build out the systems from top to bottom. I don't want to water down what we do here at GPP because I'm really proud of how much we do get into the weeds of training concepts. But I think, yeah, in order to have the impact that we're trying to have here, like I said, we need like absolutely top to bottom, like, and that goes for me and Jacob. Like even as my audience grows, like 40K, it's like, yeah, there's going to be some people that can't read so good, you know what I mean? And I want my shit to be accessible to those people, but I still want it to like be somewhat meaningful to people who are pretty intelligent, switched on as well. So hard balance to make. And obviously it is just about like rotating the different types of content and the ways to express different ideas. But it's something that I avoided a lot early on in my development as a coach. And it came from a place more so of insecurity and wanting to prove myself. So, and like I said, Jacob goes through the same things. Like, again, it's normal to be like a bit self-conscious, especially like as a young coach. Even I feel like, sorry, this is a projection right now. As a young coach making educational content, even I have been in the industry that long. I'm just getting to 10 years. So I'm trying to
Damn, nah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a long time. Come on. No, I definitely agree.
But even for you, like I said, you've had a rocket strapped to your back and like you have so much potential and you've already realized heaps of potential, in the current time frame. But it's like, you're going to be here for 20 years as well. And I think you're aware of that. Like obviously when you're developing at the rate that you are, it's just like, things are changing fast for you as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Totally. So on the industry, and this is like my last like question-ish before the obvious final one. But if you could change one thing about the industry so far, any thoughts? What would it be?
Oh, great question. I'm going to give a cliche one and say people not getting butthurt about a conflicting opinion. I know that's a very general and obvious one that will fix. That's basically saying solve world hunger for the S&C industry. But
also, really trying to kill my interaction.
Oh no, sorry.
So are you kind of just saying that
no,
like the?
I think sorry to interrupt. To add more detail, is the thing is like having like a good connection with the coach. And then as soon as you have something that's conflicting, like that relationship sort of
taking it personally.
Tainted.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's terrible. That's actually terrible. Like you should actually be able to have like a human to human connection and just remove your whole ideology. Like you can't.
You're telling me to make up with Craig Owens?
Who's Craig Owens?
He's been one of my long-term trials. Little Craig from Compound Performance.
Oh yeah, Craig Owens. Yeah, I know.
I mean, they've all tried to troll me one way or another, but I've sort of like, I got no dramas with Dominic. Like I've interacted with Kyle in a positive way sort of since then, but sort of just always butted heads with Craig. Well, sorry, he's butted into me more so. Fine. I'm going to go apologize to Craig tomorrow. So I went in and ripped him one time. I'm like, well, I let that get to me then. I have to be someone that Jacob can look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
It is funny because like I know what you mean in as much as because it sounds like what you're saying is that like you kind of just want them to be more acceptance of the fact that like two people can have different opinions on something and that's like it not be a huge fucking disaster that you've got a different opinion of someone. But like I had this thought the other day, and I don't know if I said this out loud, but like I think I was talking to Gus about is like people commenting stuff on things or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, this person commented this or whatever. And I think you were just doing something. You were like, oh yeah, there's all these people like saying something in the comments just now. Well, we were just talking about that. And I fully had this moment inside where I was like, It's like, fuck, do people still have arguments on the internet? Like, is that a thing? Like, I stopped doing that in year 9. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like I stopped doing it out of like, and like fully, I see it as like a big part of like where I grew up. Do you know what I mean? I fully see it as like that's a thing children do, you know. And then
I
like
feel like
children
this
or
is the
boomers,
fuel,
you know.
Yeah, this is the fuel that fires this industry for sure. This is a lot of, and knows this, but you know, I'll make a caveat. Like, if you're literally bringing the stocks down of someone's actual brand, then I can be like, okay, there's the personal side. But when it comes to like just little things like a principle or something, come on, guys, we're all in this together.
Is that like when Kasem said the compression expansion model, like Bill Hartman was being unethical for talking about human movement the way he did?
Did he say he was unethical? Wow.
Yeah, I got the screenshot.
Damn. But yeah, that's what I'd like to change.
He's like I'm respectful of everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yapping.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to change. Let's just not burn bridges over a exercise variation. Yeah. Or something like
right
that.
on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trying
cool.
to think about
And then,
burning any other bridges.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
But also, like, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, again, I don't really interact with the scene very much at all. But like, at the end of the day, is it not a bit like, guys, aren't we all here to like be healthy and fit?
We
like,
all are on the same boat. Let's be real. I mean? We like, all, well, most of us are.
Yeah. And like, realistically, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just a bit like, right, well, like, if we're all just here to get fit, then like, does it really matter? Like, are any of you, I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's like, are you getting fitter? You having a good time?
Yeah. Here's my final thing. If we're both overall looking at it in a macro view, fighting the same fight against some other people, let's not give them any names.
Mm-hmm.
It's just removing power from the overall ship. I just feel like the teammates, we need to, if we have a disagreement, sure, let's just put it behind us because we are part of the fight. That is all I'm saying.
Amen. Amen. And that too, like I just often think like, God, how much? And maybe it's not much. Maybe the answer here is that like I am not capable of not getting too heavily invested in something like that. But I just think like at times I'm like, how much of your brain's time have you lent to this like argument with someone online that's just actually not going to change anything? Do you know what I mean?
Who's
like,
the guy? There's one guy, ATG level 1 coach, who has legitimately left over 200 comments on my post this week. I'll do it. I won't do a count for the show, but I'll go do a count after this. Oh, it's going to be such a job. I mean, I mean, it's not good. I did do 6 consecutive days of posts about it. Not really. It was about just exercises, but
yeah,
really But yeah. Like I think, but when I look at that, I'm like, that guy just probably has like poor mental health in general, I reckon.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh man, and like that's the whole thing. It's
but like in the sense that like, man, if he's getting wound up by my stuff, like there's so much genuine rage bait on the internet. Like I can't be the only battle that he's fighting.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. Like so much of it as well is obviously like come from insecurity and you know like things that underpin it way more than just the fact that like they can't be that fucking upset about you disagree.
That's why I didn't reply. I didn't
half
reply
reasons or whatever it is this week. Like yeah. All right, and the obvious final question, Jacob.
I don't know what this is. What is the obvious
top 5 favorite athletes of all time?
Oh, let's go! Woo! Okay, let me think. Damn. Do they have to be in particular order?
No.
Just whip them out. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 2012 to 2015 Blake Griffin. He's what got me into basketball. Lob City Blake Griffin. Okay, there's one. Ronaldo, just from what he done for
Wait, Cristiano or R9?
Cristiano. Okay. Just I don't know. I just have to put him in there. This is not even about physicality. It's just like
he was pretty
what
good.
What they are as a person. Okay, let's just add another one that I have in my head. LeBron James. Like, geez.
That was the one I thought you were going to say.
As much as I think he's second greatest of all time, he's the best athlete I think in the NBA has ever seen. with what he can do at this age is insane. And
They're just
let's
crazy consistent. Like
I don't want to prompt too aggressively. Is there any way Volkanovski will get in there for you, or not really? You don't have the connection and the buy-in yet.
No, I don't have the connection or the buy-in.
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But let's go MMA.
Wait, what? Who's your favorite fighter?
we don't know yet.
Uh,
I'm trying to think. I feel like you've thrown guys out there that I'll.
you know what? You know what? Not even an athlete. Connor, I've got to put Connor in, man. Sorry. Man,
Okay.
you don't understand.
What
he
did was crazy to see.
You don't understand. You don't understand how much Conor McGregor quotes I know, which is insane, absolutely insane. It just rattle off doing laundry. It's crazy how like a fighter could just make this impact. It's crazy. Like a fighter from Ireland just making me say random shit while I'm doing my washing.
Wait, just to close this out, can we react to the clip of him in the club this week? Because that's the perfect ending.
Yeah. What have I said? 4? Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
whatever.
you
I
got
got.
one more, I
yeah,
think.
get your last. Yeah, sorry.
What's my last one? I got to do a footy player. Come on, Jacob.
It's Barry Hall, surely.
Oh, I actually got a photo of him at a club. I'm gonna go with Matthew Lloyd, AFL player, Essendon AFL player. I'm an Essendon boy at heart,
Right.
and yeah, he's a great goal kicker. People refer to him as a robot because he's just no emotion, but
Oh hell yeah.
yeah, and I've collected his cards too. I used to be a big AFL, like the Pokemon cards, but for AFL. I got a big folder here somewhere, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. They're my athletes.
Rolling into a clip of Connor in the club this week. Everyone's split. Is he doing the Ryan Garcia where he's trying to convince everyone that he's partying? Is he actually partying?
Doing a fucking good job of it if that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, Craig Jones made a good point. He was like, we saw his acting in Roadhouse and wasn't that good. And this would have to be some absolutely stellar acting. He is on one. So shout out to D. Actually,
Yeah.
D can't be pregnant right now, right? She's in between. Yeah, that's honestly probably why they're partying. Like D she's been pregnant for like the last 5 years.
So long.
And like just over the last couple of months, there's been all sorts of like super racy. I mean, Connor's always posted odd things, but have you seen
Whoa.
this?
A lot of licking going on. And fellow Australian artist been playing in the background. Shout out to Skin on Skin. Yeah.
This
Crazy.
just reminds me of one of those nights where you wake up and your mate's like, do you remember like what you were like last night? And you're like, funny enough, I don't. And then you see
I just seen him back on with her. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his wife?
Yeah. No, I just didn't see that.
There's nothing. So there is nothing wrong with that. It's just that he's 6 weeks out from a fight.
Did you see the other clip?
That's it.
What's the other
There's
clip?
there's another clip of him being in the club. It's like point of view, like actual point of view of like him being in the club. And can you see the girl in like the leopard print dress that's kicking about there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically like he just like tries to like pull her top down so he can see her tits more, basically.
Huh. Does she seem into
And it's like you can't really no. She just kind of like backs away. She's just like no. But then also the fact that he's with his wife, like through I don't know. It's fucking
I mean,
dodgy.
I don't know. I don't know if they talk about it or not. But who knows what's going on there?
Have we all seen the clip of him sniffing the forged Irish Stout? And he's like, oh.
Yeah, can we play that? Because I love that. That soothes me.
Sniffing Irish Stout.
Imagine if Connor looked at you the way and sniffed you the way he sniffed that bit and longed for you like that. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen a man stinging that hard. It's actually, and seeing that and then him in the club, it's like, that can't have been acting. That was such a genuine, deep reaction.
All right, let's see.
Isn't that thing he posted the other day where he just like disses every UFC fighter ever? Like he was drinking them, wasn't he?
I got it, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, true. That's the thing.
That's unbelievable, folks. I've 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my god. Just wants the nectar. Just.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not that
damn.
into regular drinking. He makes me want a beer.
It
Not
can't
a
be
full charge,
that
yeah.
good. I've never felt that way about a drink where I had
Nah,
to literally
I'll have my
put
first
out a
sip,
mini.
like, a real
a
hot
mini
day.
mo.
Real hot day where I'm feeling healthy going in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, real hot day when you're feeling good. Then you can have
Yeah.
real thirst quenching beer. But outside that, like, I enjoy beer, but I don't react to it like I see the way some guys react to beer, and yeah, it's like genuine horniness.
Yeah, but to be fair, there are some crafts that are like, holy shit. I'm gonna take you guys to Carlton Brewery next time.
I've seen someone do that every afternoon when they got home from work.
Oh shit. Probably reminding you of him. But yeah, I got to take you guys to Carlton Brew House. Some of the best beer you'll ever have in your life when you
You were
guys are in Melbourne.
saying that, yeah. Because it's right
Yeah.
next to the brewery. So it's
Yeah.
the freshest beer you can get.
Let's do a
The
podcast
freshest-
from the brewery.
Yes, the freshest beer and the cheapest because there's no transportation fee at all because it's right there. They literally make it right there. Yeah.
We'll plan a trip to Melbourne soon.
Yeah.
We'll
Fuck
figure it
yeah,
out.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'd be keen for that.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's about it. If anyone listening wants to leave a comment and let us know if they enjoyed this or they want to hear more from Jacob or if they got any questions for him, let us know. Because Jacob's going to be
He'll be
here a
back
lot. So if
next
you've got
week.
follow-up questions, let us know and we can.
Yeah, I'll be here every
use the
week.
speak pipe. Let us know what up. But yeah, right on. I guess we'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.